Okay, so will we have a few questions? Anybody got any questions for our speakers? We got some mics before the keynote. There's a question here. We'll just take a few.
Thanks, and just say thank you very much, Michael. It's fantastic to see in real life the outcome that can happen, which is fantastic. One question, my name is Anne-Marie from Ratoath CFR. When we come on scene and a family member is carrying out CPR, that has to be incredibly difficult. I'm just really interested in how your wife felt about having to do that in the middle of the night.
Rather than passing the microphone back and over, I just pop back up here again. Yes, that actually was a very difficult situation because, as I said to you in the few words earlier on, the guys in the crew had to work very hard. I wasn't responding and I wasn't coming around. And they were pushing this thing. Andy would know more about this than I would, obviously, because he was the one that was doing it. But they were pushing this thing to the max. To try and make something happen. And obviously my wife was there, and one of my daughters, Rebecca, had also got up and had come down to be on the scene. And I suppose, you know, these things happen. They were there, this event was taking place, but at least the one thing about it is, at least the one thing that Anne could say afterwards, that she had done all that she could do to try. If I didn't come around, I didn't come around. And as I said, the last thing I remember was playing golf and drinking 3 pints of Bulmer cider, so I was happy out. But at least she could say, I tried, I did my best. Okay, thank you. I don't know whether any of these questions are for me now, but I'll just stay here just for a moment, just in case. Yeah.
Thank you, Michael. Lovely presentation there. Nice to hear your story, and we look forward to seeing you again on Sunday nights. My question is for Andy. Is there any legislation pending or in it now regarding AEDs in factories or in shops or wherever the store is, regards employers having to provide them for the employees, or is there any criteria that way?
So basically, this is what that HTA HICWA report was. It was a private members thing put in the Shannon to decide whether it should be legislation that if you have a particular type of business, a certain amount of employees, that you should have an AED. Now the list was quite expansive. If you had a particular type of factory, as you say, a hotel, that you must have it. But when they looked at it, they were looking at 85 million, I think was the total amount it would cost, but would only save, I think it was an extra 14 lives. I won't be quoted on that, but I think it's about an extra 14 lives. And they decided 14 lives wasn't enough. So technically there's a report there, but they're not happy to put it into action at the moment, unfortunately. So we're sort of doing it voluntarily, and if we can show that it works, maybe then we can use it backwards and say, look how easy it is to keep AEDs managed, and it's not as expensive. So we are going backwards at the minute. There's nothing there to enforce employers at the moment.
Two things, Robert Logan from the Dara Project. Andy, firstly to you, I was in a hotel situation fairly recently doing some training, and they have a DFib which is impeccably maintained. I've never seen it out of date in any aspect. But the hotel policy is that the people who are trained are the only people who are allowed access to it, and no member of the public can come in and seek that, because the hotel is afraid of any liability that may occur in case something goes wrong. Now, you know, as I tried to explain to the manager, they're dead. There's only one way, and that's up. You know, so you can't get any more dead than dead. But the policy is, under no circumstances will legislation come to ensure that in that situation people are protected from any liability that may occur. That's to yourself, and I just want to go to Michael before you answer that if I can. Michael, you mentioned that you're going to Galway home to have your local club install an AED in the clubhouse. Can I suggest that it's installed outside the clubhouse and that it's fully accessible? That's what Andy is telling us to do.
And registered.
so many clubs, including the club in my own hometown, have them in the clubhouses, not accessible. And only about 3 weeks ago, they had to replace their AED, out-of-date pads, out-of-date battery. And when it was repowered, it spoke in 4 different languages. So the AED was totally non-functional. So this happened, so because it's never seen from one day to the next, it went out of sight, out of mind. Andy, sorry, back to you, thank you.
To be fair, this isn't about legislation or litigation, more to the point, about being sued. I teach a lot of first aid, and I've had the oddest of questions at the end of a course. Am I now insured to use an AED? Are we covered now? There's no covered. We have good Samaritan law here in Ireland. So if you're acting for the best interest of a patient by using an automated external defibrillator, it's there to be used by anybody, trained or not. This is about the stage I said there, which is inform. It's about informing the owner of the AED. Now, this is why we would like you to be part of an affiliated organisation, because if you present yourself to an organisation, uniformed, looking professional, and explain to these people what an AED does and how it may save a life, and that by allowing it being accessible to all members of the public, be it they run in off the street or come down from one of the bedrooms, that they're allowed to take it. I do understand it's a lot like what I said. They've probably paid the guts of €2,000 for this piece of equipment, and be Jesus, I'm not giving it to the fella that just ran in the front door. We just need to change the culture. But from a litigation point of view, there's no issue. Good Samaritan law will cover you as long as you act within the best interest of the patient. We're going to change.
Okay.
I'm optimistic.
Sorry now, folks, we're actually going to have to stop the questions there. It's just that we are starting to run behind, but I'm sure the gentleman will be around and will be willing to take questions and speak to people. Okay, thank you.